Suppressing your emotions and not speaking up may actually be killing you. Not saying how you feel is not only wreaking havoc on your emotions and on your life, but also on your health. Welcome inward. I'm Katie Edmonds. I'm absolutely filled with gratitude that you're here today listening and ready to lean in. Whether you are out for a run and completely engaged or just have me on as background noise while you're running errands, either way, welcome. You always have a seat at my table and your voice always matters here. You're 40 years old and you're still being picked on by your siblings, but you just take it like you always have. You work a job that you hate for a boss that is condescending and micromanages, but you still keep showing up day after day. You're married to someone who is completely reckless with your feelings and your emotions, but you just brush it under the rug. Your friend group is fake. The conversations are surface, and all they do is gossip about other people. Every time you leave, you're like, ugh, but you just will not leave that group chat. You're standing in a group of neighbors or acquaintances, and someone says something derogatory that just does not sit right with you, but you keep your mouth shut. Your mother constantly guilts you and picks you apart, but you don't want to hurt her feelings, so you don't say anything. Your father puts expectations on you about who you should be and what you should do and where you should live, instead of just accepting you for who you are, but you just continue to keep wanting to please him. You choose a certain house, a certain car, a certain job, a certain life, because that's what's in, that's what's cool, that's what's luxury. When what you really want is to live in a shack on the beach, drive a Jeep, and be a yoga teacher. We suppress all of the time, every single day. It's who we become. Since birth, we learn to please. There's actually research on it. We cry when we're babies, or we throw tantrums when we're toddlers, and our parents tell us, stop crying, be quiet, and we do. We learn quickly that we don't get the same love and attention when we cry or act out. So we start to adapt. We start to please. We start to alter ourselves and alter our decisions, and we suppress. It goes so deep that you're not sure what belongs to you anymore until you start peeling back the layers to see, is this me or is this an adaptation? At this stage of life, midlife or older, it's not about learning new things. It's about unlearning behaviors or habits that don't serve you, unlearning behaviors that are keeping you stuck, keeping you unhappy, unfulfilled, keeping you from living the life that you were born to live. It starts with speaking up, using your voice, even if at first only with yourself, getting really honest about where you are and how you feel, getting honest about how you feel about all of the decisions you've made, this life that you've created like a Pinterest board. Ask yourself, how does it feel? How do I feel? The perfect house with the white picket fence and the shiny job with the big corner office. The girls' nights at overpriced restaurants. How does it feel? Do you even like any of it? Does it fit? Do you fit? Getting honest. Speaking up. Again, if only first to yourself. Journal it. Ask yourself these questions and then use your voice. Because not speaking up isn't only wreaking havoc on your emotional life, it is also wreaking havoc on your physical body. To be fair, we were never really taught to express our emotions. We live in a society that is absolutely obsessed with dramatic outbursts, reality television, and big breakups, and screaming, and the trauma and the drama of it all. I grew up in a house where we were not big expressors by any means. If anything, if you were upset, you held things in, you shut down, you gave the cold shoulder. But on the flip side, if you grew up in a house that kind of didn't feel safe to express your emotions because your example was a parent that was yelling or very, very dramatic, you might not feel safe to express your emotions either. We live in a society that has taught us to suck it up, push it down, keep the peace. If you are more interested in keeping the peace instead of keeping your peace, you are not healthy. We live in a society that's absolutely obsessed with health and wellness and longevity and weightlifting and peptides and what are the healthiest foods to eat to live the longest and live a quality life. And I am here for it. I'm completely on the bandwagon. Physical fitness is so important to me. I have to move my body. I get it. I'm so there. But I also understand the importance of emotional health as well. It is mind, body, and spirit. And if you have the body, but you don't have the mind and the spirit, and you're shoving things down, it is like brushing your teeth while eating Oreos. You cannot have one without the other. Even if you're rolling your eyes right now and you're like, ugh, when I'm talking about expressing how you feel, it's still in there. It's still in you, shoved deep down. Your mind, your spirit, and it's screaming to come out. So speak up and use your voice, because if not, here's what can happen to you. Chronic suppression of emotion creates emotional stress, which then takes a toll on our immune system. Stanford University did a study and they found that people that suppress their emotions, they tend to have elevated heart rate, higher blood pressure, and decreased memory function. Harvard showed that if you don't express the way that you feel, you have a significantly higher risk of premature death and also a higher risk of cancer. I had the privilege of going to see Dr. Gabor Maté speak in Miami months ago, and it was very profound to me. I think his work is incredibly inspiring. And if you've never checked him out, definitely listen to one of his talks or read one of his books. He started out as a general doctor and he started seeing trends amongst his patients. He started seeing people with autoimmune diseases had a long history of trauma. And what his work shows is that traumas or unexpressed emotions start to really physically show up in our bodies in forms of disease, again, autoimmune, cancer, dementia, and higher risk of dying earlier. Women in particular struggle from these illnesses because his studies show that women are taught younger to hold it all together, to keep it all in. And some of the things that he has shown are connected to this suppression: breast cancer, ALS, MS, lupus. He has researched that when he works with these patients and they do the inner work to work through these traumas and these suppressed emotions, they can reverse their illnesses. In a nutshell, Dr. Gabor Maté says, what we do not say, our body will say for us. When you don't express anger, you lose boundaries. When you don't express sadness, you lose depth. When you don't express fear, you lose intuition. And when you don't express joy, you lose aliveness. Suppression creates numbness. And numbness doesn't just block pain, it blocks connection. And connection is essential for life. Okay, you're hearing me. Are you feeling it? If you're feeling it and you're like, I don't know where to start. I resonate with this. I completely resonate with this. What do I do? We prioritize things that we really want. Have you ever had a big fitness goal or even like a big goal for work and you put the effort in? I trained for a marathon last year and it was hard. There were some mornings I did not want to get up out of bed and go run, but I did because it was worth it to me. I really wanted to cross that finish line. And I promise you, there's nothing more worth it than putting in the work to be happy, to be connected to yourself. I needed to hear this message years ago. I needed to wake up. I needed to look in the mirror. And a lot of you guys right now, maybe you're looking in the mirror for the first time. I know how scary that is and how uncomfortable it is. But think about how many uncomfortable things you've done in your life. You can do this because it's worth it. You are worth it. I know that nobody likes to talk about it, but you are going to die. And so am I. And we don't know if that's tomorrow or 30, 40, 50 years, hopefully. But every decision that you make, everything that you say and don't say, that's ultimately shaping your human experience. And it's ultimately shaping how you're going to feel in your last day, in your last moment, when you reflect back on how you lived, how you showed up, who you were, and how you impacted this world. So if you're feeling nervous, if you're feeling uncomfortable, ask yourself, how am I going to feel about this on my deathbed? Am I happy? Is this all worth it? A few years ago, this conversation would have been completely uncomfortable for me. I would not have been ready to look myself in the mirror, to ask myself these hard questions. But I did it. I had hard conversations. I made difficult decisions in my life. And I am here to tell you, there is nothing worth more than being happy and connected to yourself and living a life that feels authentic to you. This is not a call to action to go out and blow up your entire life. I'm not telling you to quit your job or leave your marriage. I'm telling you to have a conversation that's ultimately going to lead to more happiness. Tell your boss how you feel. Have that conversation with your spouse. Start to communicate again so you can come to a place where you feel like you're being heard. Tell your siblings you don't like being picked on anymore and that you're 40 and you deserve to have more respect. Tell your friends you're not resonating with the conversations anymore, because you know what? When we show up with our truth, they might tell you their truth too. They might say, hey, I don't resonate with it either. I'm glad you said something. The ultimate act of love is speaking your truth and giving that person the benefit of the doubt to come back to you and say, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were feeling this way. It's the ultimate act of love for your friends, for your family, and for yourself. Remember, everything you need is already within you. If you are uncomfortable, if you are nervous, if you are getting caught up in all of these swirlings of emotions and talk and conversation and noise, everything you need, everything required is already within you. The strength, the courage to use your voice to speak up. That is why you are here. That is why you were born. And remember, your voice always matters here. I'm Katie Edmonds. Keep going inward.